Hello, 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 and welcome to the next episode of the Shane Walsh podcast. So, massive thank you for everyone who is watching up on YouTube. So, thank you for that. If you're not watching up on YouTube, it is available up on the Shane Walsh Fitness podcast station and channel. So, please do give it a subscribe so you get the most up to date alerts. If you're listening to it on anything else like Spotify or up on iTunes, thank you. So this is a topic that I hear from an awful lot of people, and the female fat loss group has just kind of finished up this week. The last check-ins were on Bank Holiday Monday, and when I first started doing that group, one of the big messages that kind of came through was, I have a discipline issue. Why can't I get my shit together? And one of the things that kind of comes through a lot is, I have no willpower. I keep falling off track, or I'm either on track or I'm off track. I'm a perfectionist. I'm all or nothing. I do well during the week and ruin it at the weekend. I just need to be more disciplined. How many of you listen to this right now can relate to that? How many people have ever said that sentence? And on the surface, it makes a lot of sense. But because from the outside, it looks like it's a behavior issue. But if discipline was really the problem, you wouldn't keep trying. You wouldn't keep starting again every single Monday 52 times a year. You wouldn't keep buying new plans, new apps, new programs, telling yourself this time will be different. So something doesn't add up. That's where we need to zoom out a little bit and look actually what's going on. And the first point is, it's not a discipline problem. It's the cycle that's the problem. And I don't mean your menstrual cycle. Most people aren't struggling with discipline. They're stuck in a cycle. And a cycle looks like this. You decide to change. You go all in. You restrict. You try to be perfect. You hold it together for a little bit. Then life happens. You slip. You feel you failed. And instead of adjusting, you restart. That restart is the real problem. Because every single Monday, every single restart resets your momentum. You lose a bit more confidence and you believe that you actually can't sustain it. So it's not that you can't stick to anything, because it's the system you're using only feels like it will work when everything is perfect. The main point number 2 is, all or nothing thinking is the hidden driver. This is where most people get stuck without even realizing it. It's not the food choice that caused the issue for a lot of people. It's the meaning attached to the food choices. One-off plan meal becomes, I've ruined today. A weekend of eating becomes, I'll start again Monday. Missing a workout becomes, there's no point now. And this is really important, because none of these moments are actual failures. They're normal parts of life. But all or nothing thinking turns this into absolute failure. And once something is labeled as a failure, the default response becomes quitting. Not adjusting, not continuing, quitting. So think about an analogy like this. If you got a flat tire on your car, would you go and puncture the rest of them? No. Logic would set in. If one of your fingers got broken, would you break the rest of your fingers? Probably not, because logic sets in. So logic wins there. And I know what a lot of people say to themselves is, I know what to do logically. I know how to do this logically. But logic doesn't win when it comes to all or nothing thinking. It doesn't win when it comes to food. It doesn't win when it becomes around by body image. Because we all know what to do logically. But just shouting calorie deficit and listening to some influencer shouting calorie deficit, eat less, move more. Oh, I need to eat clean. Intermittent fasting is the holy grail. These things don't help. Emotions, emotional dysregulation and body image are way more prevalent than most people think, realize, and can accept. Because if we fear that we're failing, we make it about us as the problem. And at the root cause, if we're the problem, well, then we have our out that I am the problem. But also at the root cause of it could be a self-worth thing of, we don't feel worthy of the results. So when we find something as an out that allows us to step out of this, we almost tell ourselves, oh, I told you so, I couldn't do this. And that failure becomes more part of your routine and more part of your life. And then that becomes a self-professing story. But all or nothing thinking turns normal into failure for a lot of people. The next one is diet culture reinforces that problem. Most people didn't invent this mindset themselves. They've learned it from others. A lot of traditional dieting reinforces extremes. Clean eating versus dirty food. On plan versus off plan. Good days versus bad days. And when your system is built on rigid rules, it doesn't teach you how to adapt. Think of it like building a house of cards. If you remove one of the center points, the whole thing will collapse. That's what food rules will bring for you, collapse. But rigid food rules only teach you how to fail and succeed, but more likely fail. So when real life inevitably interrupts the plan, stress, social occasions, fatigue, events, you don't have a middle ground. And what a lot of people will do through emotional dysregulation is withdraw. I can't do this. Life isn't perfect. What's the point? What's the point in doing something if this isn't going to be perfect? That's the identity and the reality that a lot of people fall into. That's why a lot of people, when they get a little bit frightened of when life isn't going in a straight line, kids get sick, bereavements, whatever it might be, and there's better times to go after things than others. But a lot of the time, bar bereavements and stuff like that a lot of us withdraw because we are panicked that we're failing. But another way to look at it is, are we already failing by not actually giving ourselves the best, by not even trying? And that's not a way to guilt or shame you, but it's interesting to think about it that to be all or nothing with food, think about it this way. You must be very happy with all the food, but you must also be very happy with none of the food afterwards. That's the simplicity of the breakdown of it. We're either tracking calories or we're not tracking calories. You're either on it or you're off it. So all or nothing thinking essentially means that we're very happy with either of those polar opposites. And that's where that consistency breaks down. It's somewhere in the messy middle that will get somewhere to where they want to go. And what discipline actually looks like in real life is, real discipline isn't perfection. It's not hitting every single workout. It's not eating clean 100% of the time, even though I hate that language. It's not never having a bad day or emotional eating or under eating or stress eating, never again. Real discipline looks boring. I'm not more disciplined than you listening to this. I'm not. I just have more practice in showing up for myself that little bit more. There are days where I don't feel like doing anything. But there are also days where I know that sometimes it's just better to kind of go for a walk even though I didn't want to. Maybe it's sometimes better off, right, I'm going to go out for a meal with my wife and just get back into routine the next day because I don't really want to cook. Maybe it's about missing a session because I've had the flu for a full week and not turning it into 2, 3, 4 weeks. Maybe it's about having a weekend away with family and friends, and rather than trying to be on point every single time. It's continuation, not correction. It's not punishment. It's continuation. And that identity shift that changes everything. At some point, that goal has to shift from how do I stay perfect to how do I stay consistent when I'm not? Because imperfection is where the goal is. Imperfection is very, very fragile. It breaks easily. It's like glass. But consistency is flexible. It's like one of those old rulers that we had at school. It absorbs real life. If you're not able to work around your life when life gets busy, work gets busy, whatever it might be, and then everything just falls apart, that's not a you issue. That's a mechanism issue. And this is where things start to change for people. Not because they become more disciplined, because when they stop trying to be perfect all the time, they actually accept that imperfection is a way to kind of go. I'm going to give you a quick real world example. Think about two different people. Person A eats clean Monday to Friday. Saturday go out, they eat more than planned, drink alcohol, and they feel like they've blown it. Sunday becomes a complete and utter write-off. Monday is a restart. Person B eats well most of the time, but expects to be messy. They go out Saturday, enjoy it, come back Sunday, and just return to normal eating. Same weekend, different interpretation, completely different outcome over time. The difference isn't discipline, it's recovery speed. So if you've been telling yourself that you have a discipline problem or a willpower problem, I want you to actually challenge that. Do you actually have that? Because for most people, discipline isn't what's missing. It's a belief that dieting needs to be miserable, number one. It's probably a belief that you can't do it, number two. It's probably three, that you believe that you have to be perfect, and you've believed that from somewhere. What's missing is normally a system that allows someone to continue rather than needing to be perfect. And when you remove that need and that urgency to restart all the time, or to bank calories so you get to bloat at the weekends, or to bank calories so you go for the lowest calorie option, you don't need better results. You actually need a better system. You actually need better education. You actually need better coaching, because most of us haven't had coaching. Most of us actually haven't had coaching that's actually beneficial for them. They've been told, here's a calorie number, off you trot. So if you want to get rid of that belief system around willpower or discipline, let's do it. Because you don't need another restart diet on a Monday. You need to get better changes internally, different interpretation, and a completely different outcome will happen over time. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please let us know. Comments up on socials, whatever it might be. Comments on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for listening today. And I really hope that you've enjoyed today's episode.